Senate overcomes filibuster and allows marriage protection to go to vote. This afternoon, senators voted 62 to 37 to move the Respect for Marriage Act to the Senate for an up and down vote in the near future. 60 votes were needed to overcome the filibuster and send it to the floor. Arizona Democratic Senator Krysten Sinema, one of the negotiators for the bill, said, quote, "Together with broad bipartisan support, the Senate will provide certainty to millions of Americans in loving marriages and enshrine into law the basic protections afforded of all Americans while respecting our country's critical principle of religious liberty," end quote. Senator Chuck Schumer said he wants to pass the bill and send it to President Joe Biden for a signature as soon as possible, though it would have to go back to the House first. All right, so are we happy with this news? What does this mean, John Hayden? I'm sorry, Jay Sizzle. We'll get to that in a second, folks.
Yeah. This is an important step forward. Not that it just got 60. I was always thinking it was going to need to get 61, so that way nobody could be pinned like, oh, you the one who ruined marriage for everybody else. But
Didn't they need 50? Didn't they need 50 initially?
60. They need 60, and then 62 was what they ended up getting.
Okay.
Which is fantastic. So what happens next is they're going to they basically voted to talk about the House bill that they've already gotten, and then they're going to gut it tomorrow and put their own version in with these religious protections, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean, and then vote on it, but it won't need to clear 60 again, right? And so they'll do it. It'll go to the vote. It'll get at least 51 votes, and then it'll go back to the House next week, which will most likely pass it by an even larger majority than it passed over the summer. And it got 20% of the House Republican caucus over the summer. A few things that surprised me from the vote. Mitt Romney, a very devout Mormon, he voted in favor of the bill in its new form, but the Latter-day Saints Church, the Mormon church, backs the bill as it's now written as well. So that's giving a lot of political cover to Senator Romney and a lot of conservative Western senators if they want to go ahead and vote in front of it. It repeals DOMA, which the Supreme Court struck down, but should the Supreme Court ever decide to unstrike it down, DOMA is off the books. They would have to start from scratch all over again. So that protects us to an extra level. And only nonprofit religious entities are mentioned in this. So will that be to cover for-profit bakers if they're saying that's their exercise of religion? That's a fight for another day. But on the whole, this is a huge, huge win for the LGBTQ plus community that quite honestly may not have happened if the Republicans hadn't fared so badly last week.
That was my next question to you. Like, would things have been different today if the midterms had gone, you know, what is it, the red waving of whatever?
The red wave that happened, but it was not, it was more like a red,
it was more like
splash.
Red drizzle.
It was a red dust.
Splash.
Red drizzle.
Yeah, red drizzle.
Okay, so are we out of the woods yet, though, John? I mean, I was already telling my wife, I'm gonna be single. I'm gonna be single. No.
We're not out of the woods until Joe Biden has a signing ceremony in the White House, which will hopefully be next week before everybody maybe he might pardon the turkey and protect marriage all at the same event. Who knows? Either way, it's a celebration.
Twofer?
Absolutely.
It'll be a twofer?
But he has to do it before January, right?
Well, it has to be done before January 2nd or January 3rd when the new Congress starts.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, we'll know well before then.
Yeah.
We'll know well before then what's going to happen, and I think it's going to
put a damper on everybody's.
Oh, great.
No.
Oh, Bob, damper us.
No.
I mean, yeah.
We all know that there's going to be somebody, some cramp in the system who decides to sue, and it's going to go to the 6-3 court, and they're going to overturn it. Because this is why this bill even got started in the first place, was we all know about, they took out Roe, and they've been screaming about Obergefell and contraception. I mean, they've been screaming about these things. This is the next step, and this is what we need to be prepared for. Somebody's going to sue, and it's going to go to the court, and they'll overturn this.
Well, now, this doesn't codify Obergefell. This codifies Windsor, which was a Supreme Court decision that happened 2 years earlier. Basically, this says that Windsor said that the federal government must recognize marriages if they were performed legitimately in the state where they were performed it. So theoretically, the court could go back and say Obergefell is down, and then Florida wouldn't have to offer marriages anymore. But if someone goes to New York on vacation, comes back, the federal government will still recognize it. And it's just so hard to create a two-tier system when it comes to taxation and filings and stuff like that, that it's a hard knot to untangle. But you're right, Obergefell is not protected. It's Windsor that's protected, and that's really all that can be done at the federal level at this point.
So, Bob, you dampered a little.
I mean,
But let's look at
And
the
I came in with the
positive.
umbrella.
And you came with the umbrella. Dino.
Krysten Sinema, I mean, this is she's showing some progress, and
Finally.
finally,
Finally.
like
Well, she is
come on.
bisexual.
Right, but
No, she
Why do you
she
laugh at
she
that?
identifies
Also, you
as
expected
bisexual.
her to come
right
through.
now
No,
I knew that.
I know
but she's
she is, but
been
she's
like
been-
a stick in the mud.
right, with
yeah.
along with what's his name, the one from West Virginia.
Joe
Yeah,
Manchin.
Joe
Manchin,
Manchin,
yeah,
right.
his name. Yeah, so she's really been a pain in the neck. So
Right.
it's finally
Bisexual or not.
a good move for somebody who should have made good moves
Correct.
previously.
Before.
Yeah, but Manchin and Sinema have both been voting more on the being more contrarian on the fiscal proposals, things like that. As far as judges, the justice that we got this last summer, and social issues, they've pretty much gone along with the party line. So that doesn't surprise me very much.
You know,
All right. Well, we'll keep on this story, of course, right? So important, and I'm glad that we were able to break that news to you. So.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.